Well, yes, yes. I'm back again. I'm live. Just want to check. Yes, I'm back again. I'm live. Check. Right. Checking the volume, checking everything. So, how are you guys been? Today, I'm going to jump into retirement calculation and planning for retirement, as well as looking for children's education. Because when you look at retirement, that's one thing that we need to look into as the children's education. So we are going to deep dive into that. Uh, let's go straight. So what is retirement and what's retirement planning? So retirement is all about living living a life with basic amenities so that you can survive from the day you retire till the age you die. That is retirement. Retirement is so when you talk about retirement, the expenses typically are your living expenses and any additional expenses that you will need when you are at old age. So many people, when you ask on social media or wherever you see retirement, people say that I need what I need 50 crores, 60 crores, 100 crores. So that's a lot of money actually. Yes, retirement, you may need quite a lot of money, but in retirement, what we typically require is the money that is required to survive. Anything bonus and above that will be a separate goal. Okay, so retirement is food, groceries, your utilities, maid, medical expenses, all those taken care of. So let's go and get started. As always, I have a screen out here. So if I'm looking over here, and it's not that I'm ignoring you guys, I'm just looking out here at this screen. So as always, since we are in a financial planning session, we have a spreadsheet. I'm sharing my spreadsheet. Hopefully, you can see my spreadsheet. Yes, there you can see it. Right, you can see that spreadsheet out here. Uh, Usually, I would always have some problems in this spreadsheet, but now I see that the spreadsheet is pretty well visible. Good. So, what do we have in retirement planning out here? If you guys can't see it, I can just maybe slightly update it. And if you have any messages, any chat messages you want to type in, any feedback, anything, please feel free to type into messages at the chat box. Let's get started. I hope the screen is visible. If not, I can make it. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, I'll make it a little bigger. Let's increase the font a little bit. Let's increase the font a little bit. Let's beautify it a little bit. Alignment. So wrapping. Wrap. Okay. All right. A lot of numbers over here, but what we will do is we'll just take the basic numbers. Before we get anywhere forward, let's look at this number out here, this table that I've highlighted over here. What's the expenses that we need? If today somebody retires, what does someone require? Okay, so retirement is, if I retire today, what amount of money is needed? So so what will be the heads, right? So let's again align this a bit. Let me just push it along. Yeah. So today, if you ask anyone who has retired, they might say that food and groceries they would require around 30,000. I'm from the east, here in Bhubaneswar. If you don't have a couple of mutton kosa and all that, whether you are having fatty liver or not, people would just want to have that. So 30,000 rupees for food and groceries. Utilities, let's take it around say 20,000, right? Which means electricity bills and your Netflix subscriptions and all that. The maid cook, 10,000. Medical insurance, if you have not done your medical insurance yet when you are young and kicking, then I would definitely suggest to have a private medical insurance policy of your own. But remember this, that when you're retired, you may not require life insurance, but you'll definitely require medical insurance. And the medical insurance starts when you are young. So when you are young and healthy, if you get enrolled into medical insurance, then you will at least get the medical insurance policy issued. Otherwise, you may not even get the medical insurance policy issued. Okay, so the medical insurance, the the insurance, the premium increases as per age. So if you buy a policy today, if you're 30, by the time you're 60, the premiums will not be the same. The premiums will keep increasing. So I'm just putting in over here 10,000 rupees. 60,000 is what is needed as a part of medical insurance, and I've just kept it 10,000. There are ways to reduce that amount, but that is a separate topic, and we'll come to that a little later. So today, if somebody requires 70,000 rupees, I had put over here 30,000, but I might just want to add something like around 15,000 rupees out here, because in case of old age, you may require additional help, such as somebody coming, and an attendant kind of a person who can help you, and they come at minimum 15,000 rupees. So I'm talking about food and groceries, 30, 35. I'm talking about 85,000 rupees. And this is if you have your own house, you have your own vehicle, and your children are settled. I have not even put your international vacation over here, because, like I said, that's a separate plan. You can't keep every year going to Lakshadweep or Kenya or Australia, right? So this is survival money, 80 to 90,000 rupees. Let's take it 80,000 rupees. Okay, let's just take it 80,000. Let's say that you don't want to watch Netflix the whole day, so just like that, 80,000 rupees. So 80,000 is what you need when you retire today. So let Excel do all the calculation. We have this amount over here. Just please ignore all this. So which means annual income or annual expenses for some time, which if you are retiring today, is about 9.6 lakhs, right? Now, assuming you are what, 35? Let's take your 35, and we'll take all age groups over here. Well, let's start with 25. Okay, let's start with 25. You're 25, you're young, you're going to the FNO training institutes, and you see that you're not making enough money, so you have come to this YouTube challenge just to see how you can make money when you're retired, right? And you want to retire at 60, maybe, people today they say that, yeah, I want to retire at 50. Let's take 50, which means that you are 25, you want to retire in the next 25 years, but you are going to live for 30 years. So which means your retirement corpus, that is the amount of the amount of money that you create when you are 50, that is a retirement corpus, should be able to support you from the age of 50 till the age of 80, that is for 30 years. So 30 years, we are creating a corpus that's like a big reservoir from where you're going to draw um, your yearly expenses, right? So I know this is a very debatable thing. What is the inflation rate? The inflation rate, let's just assume it to be 6%. The number is your years to retirement. Here there are some Excel calculations. So let's look at the retirement corpus required. What is the retirement corpus required? This is 7.3 CR. So when you retire, you will require, if you're 25, you're 50, and you typically live till the age of 80, your retirement corpus is 7.3 CR. What is this? This, let's just take this number out here, which is highlighted. 41 lakhs. So 9.6 lakh rupees after accounting for inflation, or rather taking inflation into factor, after 25 years will be 41 lakh rupees. Unbelievable. That's why I keep 6% inflation. If you keep 10-12% inflation, then probably we'll be in a situation like Pakistan or Bangladesh. Okay? We're going to get into civil war, so there's no point in having retirement corpus. You'll be hanging upside down, already dead. So 41 lakhs, and what I've done over here is, since we have 30 years over here, and assuming India is expected to grow, considering democracy and all that things, and by the way, China has also not deteriorated or slowed down despite all the recessions. So I'm expecting 10%. That is, if I create a retirement corpus of 7.3, this 7.3 is going to be invested across various financial products that will be at 10% returns. Okay, because 30 years is there, right? We can easily put 50% in equity and the rest 50% in various debt products, and you're going to withdraw money from typically the debt products and then keep the equity for even further wealth creation that will be required from the age of 50 to 80. So 7.3 CR. Now, how to create 7.3 CR? If you have 25 years, 12%, and whatever amount is required, you require 40,000 rupees per month. 40,000 rupees per month to get 80,000 rupees from per month from the age of 50 till the age of 80, right? So instead of paying 50,000 rupees for FNO training, I would suggest that you better start investing 40,000 rupees per month. Sounds very challenging, I know. So now, if you are 25, if you think that this is a lot of money, let's try to do this. Let's try to just change it to 60 years. That is, you want to retire at 60 years. See, oh, it becomes so easy, right? It becomes 17,000 rupees. The corpus becomes more because you are extending in the period of, your time horizon becomes more, and but because the time horizon becomes more, therefore the value of money has to increase, or we are getting into more inflation, right? So 10 CR corpus is what you require. And to create 10 CR corpus, you require 20,000 rupees, or maybe even 15,000. Let's assume in the next 25 years, India grows 15%. We have a phenomenal bull run. Oops, it's just 8,000. It's just 8,000. Not so bull run, Krishna. 14%, 10,000. So, very important. If you are 25 and want to ensure that you have proper retirement, when I say proper retirement, you have to get 80,000 rupees per month. You need to start investing at least 10,000 rupees, at least 10,000 rupees in diversified equity portfolios. If you have any questions, please do use the chat button and options over there. Feel free to ping over there, give whatever reactions, everything. I would love to see live comments out here. All right, I think this is very clear. You're 25, retire at 60, 80. If you're 25, you want to retire at 50, right? Let's put back to 12% over here. It's 40. If India gives a phenomenal bull run 14%, then you're looking at 30,000. So it's easily anything from 30,000 to 40,000 if you plan to retire by 50. Okay, great. All right. So now let's see. Krishna, you know what? 80,000 seems a little too much. I'm okay. I should be not requiring too much of money. I won't have that, that chicken tikka and all those things, uh, everything. And yep, thanks, Yogi. Started the SIPs as for growth. Thank you so much. Let's take utilities again. Keep it at something around 15,000 rupees. Right. So just give. Oh, so how do I react to this? Yeah, okay. Right. Um, yep. So let's say that Krishna, we don't need 80,000 rupees. Can you be a little bit more conservative because the numbers are not going to look great? Let me just come down over here. 55,000 rupees. So we are looking at 55,000. You need somewhere 55,000. You need to invest 20,000 rupees a month, right? That this is expecting that equities is going to give you 14% returns. So you are 25, want to retire in the next 25 years. You live for 30 years. At least, invest 10,000. Why I'm saying 10,000? Because everybody wants to retire early, but yeah, I'm just giving this number out here, 80 years out here, and then putting 12% out here, or maybe say 13%. These are all Excel. I'm just flipping through the numbers over here just to make sure that we come across some number which is like whole realistic 10,000 rupees. So you are 25, minimum 10,000 rupees is what you need to invest. All right. Now, let's take into a few other things into factor over here. I've talked only about equity. Now, if you're working somewhere, definitely you will be having an EPF contribution. Okay. So let's just take some EPF contribution. Let's assume that EPF contribution is something around say 6,000 rupees when you start your career. And if you're doing the NPS, also great. Okay. Now, let's just take. No, I put 60,000. That's a lot of money. Okay. So let's take a little bit more realistic about how much can we actually create, right? So let me put 50 here. You would be anywhere putting around 6,000 rupees. If you don't like NPS or the structure of NPS, I'm just putting it zero over here. You're contributing around 6,000 rupees every year for the next 25 years. So the target over here will be that EPF itself generates some amount of money. Now, obviously, when you start young, your salary is a little lower, but as you grow more in your career, the sweet spot between 30 and 45, if you're in a private sector, your contributions will be very large. So let's assume at a very on an average scale over the next 25 years, your contribution to EPF would be about say 15,000 rupees, right? So if you are 25, you want to retire at 50, you need 5 CR. As you see over here, 1 CR has already got created from your EPF alone. So it's not that you have to create 5 CR, but you have to create the remaining amount of money, approximately 4 CR. Right. So if I look at this, we have 25 years over here. Assuming we get 14% return over here, we are looking at 15,000 rupees. So not 20,000, not 40,000, right? 14,000 rupees. And this is where it gets very nice that if you put 55 years, I want to work for next 30 years at least, right? So then it comes down over here to 7,000, because your EPF, etc., still grows, but because then even if I take 12%, I'm looking at around 12,000. So with all the combinations, I would definitely suggest 25, minimum 10,000 rupees for your investments. Great. Equity funds. Okay, when I say investments, equity funds. Now let's go straight into the age group of 35. Right. When you're 35, I think the dreams of retiring at 55 will seem to be a little distant dream. So you may think, I can actually stretch till the age of 60. Oh no, I want to retire at 55. I'm really sick of all the job and everything that I'm doing. Now, let's again, bump this up a little bit more, just to get a little higher. So we are looking at around, say, 65,000 rupees. Okay, let's take 65,000 rupees today if you want to retire. So, how much amount of money do we require? We require 4 CR. Now, you may think, why, if you are younger? Because inflation is, you're looking more into the future, value of money becomes bigger because of inflation. You're 35, you require 4 CR in the next 20 years to get today's 65,000 rupees year on year from the age of 35 till the age of 80. So, for this, if you have done nothing and you want to start right now, 12% equity expectation, 40,000. Oh my God, you must be thinking I'm actually playing with numbers, but you know, let me be very clear. It's very difficult to go below 40,000 rupees on a very, if you're looking from the stress testing point of view, right? You want to stress test the portfolio. 40,000 rupees is what you require. But let's take something else like next 20 years, go hopefully golden age of India's equity SIP returns. Can we take 15%? Still pretty high, 30,000, right? So let me put 12% over here and let's get into the other factor here. 15,000 you are contributing, 7%. I have 20 years to retire, but maybe your PF value may be at the age of 35, something around 10 lakhs, at least 10 lakhs. This is my uh, my just kind of a number that I'm just throwing out here. It's around 10 lakhs. So again, if you see 10 lakhs, 20 at the target year, I'm looking at around 1.1 CR created by EPF alone. Okay? No other instrument, because I actually love EPF because it's kind of a forced guaranteed product. If you look at each goal, each financial goal, and then create asset classes within it that is assigned to each asset class, like we have EPF, government backed, then we get into equity, diversified equity, then it makes sense, right? So 1.15 something is taken care by the equity, and the remaining 2.84 will have to be created by your nifty funds or equity funds, right? Index, whatever you call it. So that's 12%. If I'm expecting 12%, almost 30,000. And let's take, optimistically speaking, 15. It's 18,000. So let's make the table over here. Your age and kind of investments needed. Okay, investments needed. I have something Gemini over here, but I'm not used this, so I don't want to create a mess in a live show. So age is around 25. Investment needed is minimum 10,000 rupees. You're 35. Minimum investment is 20,000 rupees. Let's just beautify this a little bit. The same formatting. Put it under the table. That's good. That's one thing I learned when I was in the information technology industry, to beautify Excel sheet as much as possible. It's not the most beautiful sheet, but you get the numbers. 25, 10,000. This is only retirement, guys. Only retirement. Only retirement. 20,000. Now, at the age of 35, 20,000. Simple, right? Very simple. If you're not doing SIPs of 20,000, then you're going to struggle a little bit. Oh, yeah, I'll make for 30 years also. Sure, sure. I'll make for 30 years. Here it goes. 30. And we're okay with 65, right? 65 is something. The moment you put a multiple of 5,000, then it becomes easier. So let's take 65,000. I'm looking at whatever numbers are coming over here. Retirement corpus is 5.35 CR, 5.35 CR. And if you have done nothing, and if you have no EPF, nothing, you're just being enjoying life, 30,000 rupees per month in equities. But again, I know most of us would be having some sort of equity EPF. Now, believe me, if you're not doing EPF, you can also get in the PPF factor if you're an entrepreneur or if you are doing your own business. So I'm looking at 10 lakh rupees. You're contributing again 15,000. Let's say that by the age of 30, you may have about say 7 lakh rupees in your EPF, right? And you want to retire by the age of 55. Again, I'm putting 55 because that gives you the choice to retire early. If India gives a magnificent bull run, then you can just throw the resignation letter at the age of even 48 also, and then go to Andaman Nicobar Islands and relax out there. So 7 lakh rupees, 15,000 per month, 6% inflation. So expected returns from the EPF, I'm putting 25 over here, and it's going to become 1.5 CR. So again, for 1.5 CR, 30 years, assuming 15%, I have almost 11,000, but let's not go so high. Let's put 12%, around 19,000. So let's say 13% over here, 16%, right? So I would expect minimum, right? Minimum. Just try to do that. We can definitely max up. So I know this age comes out here, but I would say that it kind of becomes like kind of an arithmetic progression if you ask me. 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. And this is also assuming that you have no investments made till date. And unless and until you have around 20 lakhs of funds already created, I would not suggest taking that 20 lakhs and putting it as a retirement corpus. What I believe is you should have that buffer amount with you so that you are maximizing your investments. So let me take this 30 years, 55. I'm assuming the last 3 years people would have put some money in equity, and assuming all they have is around 15 lakh rupees. This 15 lakh itself at 12% will become around, by doing nothing, in 25 years, will become around 2.55 CR. So actually, if you already made 15 lakh rupees, all you need is another 5 lakh rupees. I hope you get the point, right? So it's very important to start early. Assuming you say I have 15 lakhs at make, can I mark 5 lakhs of my 15 lakhs for retirement? You see over here, 12 lakh rupees. So I'm putting your current equity as 0 and just trying to stress this kind of this portfolio, so that you don't go the lazy way that I saw Krishna has given a Excel sheet. It just said 5,000 rupees. So let me do one thing. Let me go and watch a movie this time, and then I'll do it next month. No, you require 15,000 rupees. Try 15,000 rupees. Try to maximize your investments from day one. All right, 30 years, 55. Now, assuming 30 years, you want to retire at 60. Believe me, it makes your life easier, much easier. You see the 15,000 just in 5 years. And this is all what you see in these days YouTube videos that, oh, my first 1 crore was so difficult, it took me 19 years, and now I'm getting 12%, 15% compounded. Every 3 months, I'm creating my next 1 crore. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. And the extra 5 years that you take actually makes the compounding easier. But this is all assuming that we are always constantly growing at 13%. Okay? Yeah, but markets will not grow at a constant rate of 13%. Because we have 30 years, we are assuming that the overall returns will be 13%. Right. So in that case, if you have kind of retiring at 60, but I know that everybody wants to have a little early retirement, and believe it or not, fire always existed. Even a generation prior to us did retire a little early. That's why voluntary retirement service was also provided. No? That if you're really bored of your job, please, here's your exit strategy. Okay, so we have done 25, 30, 35. Now let's take 40. Again, believe me, these expenses are all going to remain the same, because this is your expense when you retire, not your current expenses. Today, your food and grocery, because you're healthy, you may have pizzas every Friday and all that. That is fine, but this is when you retire. This is 65 when you retire. Now, when you are 40, you want to retire at 55. How many years do you have? You have 15%. Sorry, 15 years. And what I do is I become a little bit more conservative over here. Post retirement returns, that is the amount of money that I'll be getting after retirement, I would think that will grow at around, say, 9%, just to be a little conservative. Otherwise, you're going to spend more money, right? 65,000 rupees is what you require. You are 40, you want to retire at 55, life expectancy is 80. So you work for the next 15 years, 25. Assuming you have done no retirement planning apart from the forced retirement planning that the government makes you to do, I'm hoping to see that you should have around, say, 15 lakh rupees in your EPF, right? And I'm again putting this 15,000 rupees monthly contribution to the EPF approximately. So you see, here your target return in 15 years becomes very less. Most important point is, if you recall, when I was putting a younger age, the amount of money created by EPF itself is large. Because why? 7% also goes by compounding. Compounding is not just limited only to equity mutual funds. Compounding is valid for inflation, is relevant to anything that has this percentage. So 7% compounded growth gives me around 1 CR. I have to create 3.3 CR. How do I make the rest of it? Oh my God, I have done no investments. Then I'm looking at 40,000 rupees per month. Okay, 40,000 rupees per month. If I'm 40 years old, next 15 years, I want to retire. So if you think that it's too high, let's make the retirement 60 years and see. There's a little bit of increase in the retirement corpus. Your EPF also grows significantly, and it becomes 20,000 rupees, right? So what I would put over here is again very similar. 40, I would put 25,000. You may ask, why did I suddenly do that? Because see, I'll put 12% over here, and I'm expecting you to retire at 40. Absolutely no compromise on the conservative estimates. I would say no compromise on the conservative, but let's go conservative, 12%. I'm looking at 25,000 returns. Sorry, 25,000 monthly investment required for results. So I'm creating a kind of a mathematical formula, kind of a thumb rule out here. 25, 10, 30, 15, 35, 20, 40, 25. Remember, it's not that if you are 40, if you are already started 20,000, bump it to 25. You can do it, great. This is if you are today 40. If you're 35, just continue to do 20,000. You should be able to achieve everything. You should be able to achieve your retirement goals, right? So if you're 25, all you need is 10,000 rupees, and then when your salary grows, when you have more savings, uh, obviously when you grow in your salary, you are growing in your responsibility. You will also have more expenses, but let's take the case that your savings are also increasing, so therefore you can increase more. So very important. This until 35 is very critical. Let's go to that age, 45. That's the last time you have, right, to create your retirement corpus. And what are we talking about? If you have created still around 15 lakh rupees in your EPF, getting around 15,000 rupees monthly contribution to your EPF, I'm scrolling down, 40,000 rupees. It's 40,000. If you are 45, I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to make it 30,000 just to impress you. You need 40,000. As simple as that. Because we don't have time for compounding. 15 years. Max time for compounding, I would say, is like 7 years, 15, 40,000. So until the age of 40, until the age of 40, you have chance to decrease your investments. Increase investment, decrease expenses. Okay. So let's now go to 50. The last thing I would do. Okay. So 67,000. I wouldn't even want to put 50, but for the sake of mathematical calculations, 50, you need 60, 67 actually. You need 70,000. No, not 7 lakhs, that's too much. Now, assuming by 50, because of some random luck, you would have invested in equity markets and created something around 35 lakh rupees overall, then, oops, you don't need to, because you're 35. No, sorry, this is, one second. That's wrong. I knew something was wrong. Yeah? So 35, you need to put around 20 lakhs. But if you have 35 lakhs, I would say park it for your children's education, because that would be a more critical goal to meet than your retirement. So, whoops, don't think of buying a new car unless you're not putting 70,000. And I would stop there. I just don't want to, use it as a mathematical Excel sheet exercise. If you're above 50 and 60, then we need to meet and discuss. Right? So, this is all about retirement planning and retirement calculations. Any questions for anyone? The chat box is ready to answer any questions. I think it's very clear. The amount of money you have time till 40, 45 last chance. This also means that if I'm getting if I have to invest 40,000 rupees, right? If I have to invest 40,000 rupees, then I also have a financial goals tab out here. If I have 40,000 rupees, then what should be my income? Let's put expenses over here. Let's put expenses over here, and let's just format copy over here. Uh, when you're 25, maybe your expenses may be around, say, total 20,000. Right? When you're 30, you're married, a rental 30,000, another 20,000, so it kind of becomes maybe 20,000 more, 50,000 expenses, household expenses, right? Thank you, Prashant. Thank you very much for that. So 35, the age of 35, what are you? Uh, More expenses coming, children are there, schooling expenses. So I'm putting around 65,000. 40, again 65,000, right? Uh, when you're 45, let's put again the same 65,000. 50, let's put again 65,000. These are your expenses. So what should be your bare minimum income? Simple 1 plus 1. Yep. Here. So this is what you're looking at. So your bare minimum monthly income should be 30,000. If you are like in your 35s or 30s, if you're not earning in hand around anything from 70 to 90,000 rupees, it's going to be difficult for you to meet your retirement goals and meet your expenses. And by the way, I've not put children's education planning over here. I'll do that tomorrow or maybe on Monday. But yes, we'll do it tomorrow, right? Because of the flow will go off. If you're 45 and you want to really meet your retirement goals, if you're not done anything, oh boy, if you're not getting 1.2 around 1.2. I'm just putting again a buffer. Okay, 1.2 lakhs in hand. It will be difficult for you to meet your retirement and to meet your monthly expenses. So, in case your HR has any problem in saying about economy, blah blah blah, this and all that, ask your HR to consult me, SEBI registered investment advisor, and this is the salary slabs that you should be doing, you should be working. Otherwise, your future is very, very blank. And our good expense is only 65,000. Now, if you add your home loan, well, I don't want to do that and scare you, but you can add your home loan over here. If you're taking a home loan of 50,000 rupees, bump it up by 50,000. So, assuming at the age of 35, you're taking an EMI of say 50,000, and right now you want to take 50,000. 50,000 very less. You're going to get only 60 lakh rupees, right? So you're not going to get any property of 60, 70, or 80 lakhs anywhere. At least not in Bhubaneswar. I know Bhubaneswar. I was just tweeting today, and I got the responses that minimum investment is 2.2 if you want to get a good society, right? So let's just, for the sake of argument's sake, mathematics sake, let's say 50,000, 1.5 lakhs minimum take home salary at the age of 40 to 45. Well, so this is what I wanted to talk today: retirement, the kind of investments that you should be looking at. Uh, again, these are all thumb rule calculations. These are not taking into account the very specific issues that you may have in your life, which we can only discuss if it's a one-on-one session. Because I don't want people to come on YouTube and say that, you know what, I have drinking habits and all that. That's going to become a big problem. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this session about retirement planning, about the ballpark numbers that you require from an age group to the investments that are required to meet your basic retirement goals. Basic retirement goals: food, groceries, utilities, maid, medical insurance. I'm not talking about your annual vacation. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and hope to see you guys tomorrow when we update this very spreadsheet and add children's education also. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Yogi. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you over there for your comments. Helps a lot. See you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.